Welcome to the University of Northampton 1 year anniversary podcast, May 2024. Welcome everyone, and today I'm joined by my colleague and PhD student, Michael Bell.
Hello, Stace. Good to be here again on the podcast. I can't believe it's been 1 year.
I know. Well, we're going to get stuck into that now. So today's podcast is celebration and sort of a reminder for us all about the 12 podcasts we've done. We started, I think May last year, was it?
Yeah, May. It was May. Yeah.
So this is our 13th podcast, and in that time we've been lucky to speak to some really awesome people. We've got some brilliant colleagues, brilliant lecturers at the university. And Michael, you spoke to Anna Yashner, singer, songwriter. Tell us briefly about that one.
That was really good. That was down at the university in our studios. We recorded that, and it's just a kind of an exciting time for Anna as well, as she was recording her 3 kind of debut singles. It's almost like, I suppose, an EP that went out in single series, which you can find out more about in that podcast. But yeah, that was really good fun. It was a really exciting time, just going into the summer, I believe that was with Anna. So it's good, really good.
So yeah, that was a brilliant podcast, that one. Thanks for doing that, Michael and Anna. That was July. And then following on from Anna, our main performance lecturer and professional musician trombonist with the specials, regularly plays in the Book of Mormon in the West End. How many shows a week does he do?
Is it 4 or 6?
Oh, no, it's more than 4. I think
6 minimum.
It's 7 or 8 a week. Spoke to Tim about his playing on main stage Glastonbury with the specials, and his career. So if you haven't heard that one, please go and check that out. And then in the autumn, we spoke to our third year band, One Way Ticket. They all came in and spoke to us. They're now a successful band. They've been on tour in the UK, mini tour. They play in and around Northampton, and they're helping to create an amazing music scene in the town of Northampton. We also spoke to the Dean of FAST, the Faculty of Arts, Science and Technology, John Sinclair, and that was a really great discussion about his love for music and listening to live music and going to gigs. And we also talked a little bit about his research. In December, I was lucky enough to go to UK producer and artist Gareth Jones's studio, not far from Bank. And he was so generous with his time and his knowledge that we ended up with 2 one-hour podcasts. So if you want to hear from one of the most sort of well-known UK music producers, worked with the likes of I think he said he recorded Madness's first ever single, for example. Yeah, he's produced and worked with the likes of Bronski Beat, Depeche Mode, Einstein, Zender, Naubauten, Embrace, Erasure. Who else, Michael? Who else?
Moby, Mogwai, New Order, Nick. I mean, it just goes on and on, Stace. I mean, Mogwai, Moby, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Orbital, one of my favourites.
Oh, I love Orbital.
Really good music.
Yeah.
Really good music.
I saw them at Glastonbury in 1999, I think. Yeah.
Strangely, I saw them at the Brighton Dome of all places.
Oh, did you? Were they good?
They were good. It was just a bit of an odd venue for them, I felt, but it did work.
Yeah. So his New Order he's worked with. Goldfrapp, Hefner, the Vatican DC, Wim Wenders. Anyway, the list goes on. So, yeah. So if you want to 2 one-hour podcasts with a UK, with one of the top UK music producers and artists, go and check out the Gareth Jones podcast. We also spoke to Charlie more recently, our amazing new careers advisor. Tell us a little bit about that.
Really good. Charlie's got a great kind of creative background and what I would call a real kind of portfolio career. She's moved around a lot. Really supportive of us, which is great, and sort of happy to be supporting music out and about in Northampton. And her partner Mike's a top bloke as well, doing live sound and lots of stuff around Northamptonshire. So yeah, that was a really good podcast. If you want to hear about kind of what we can offer at UON for careers and I suppose alumni support, go and check out the podcast with Charlie.
So we've had, many successes this year, and we've been lucky enough to speak to lots of great people. Something unbelievably tragic happened, though, this year, which has shocked and affected everyone in music, which is our amazing student, Atanuke. Sadly, tragically, words can't really describe how bad it is. She passed away suddenly. So, yeah, it's not been all good this year, sadly. And, it's a year. Whilst we have had many successes, it is a year tinged with sadness and heartbreak. In February, I think it was. Yeah, in the beginning of February, the beginning of the second semester, we ran a whole week, what we call Changing Futures Week. And we have a series every day, master classes, workshops, industry pros. I mean, our department's full of industry professionals anyway. Tim, Anna, Miles, Tony Platt. Michael's got industry experience. I worked as a media composer for 15 years in London. Mark's got industry experience too. But we bring in other people, and we had some amazing guests. One standout for me was Carlos on drums. He tours the world as a professional drummer, and as soon as he started playing, everyone was like, "What is that? That sounds amazing!" And we had a similar experience with Sunny Doo, who came in. She came in and just said, "Oh, I'm just going to play a quick tune for you." And at the moment she started playing the piano and singing, it was like the birds stopped singing outside to listen to her because she was so good.
A fairly transformative experience. Yeah, it was good. Yeah. Very good.
And what was your experience of Changing Futures Week this year?
I think it's just get, as you say, just getting all those people in one place. I mean, normally if you want that level of expertise, you've got to travel to London, you've got to buy tickets, you've got to get on a train, you've got to go somewhere. For our students, they could go to their department, where they, I think for them to be able to hear those players in the same space they practice and rehearse is quite important for them and great for us. So yeah, I think the whole week, it really sort of across performance, across production, across business, so many different speakers of all sort of varying backgrounds, and we're lucky enough to be able to host them in our space, in our own venue.
So it's a great experience for our students who want to. It's also networking, of course, because the music industry works in large part in networking. So it's a chance for our students to, as well as listen and hear how good they are on a technical musical level and how knowledgeable they are. In the case of John Hart and
Gemma I brought in for business. Gemma Gosden for social media, which is social media get you either sort of love or hate it. It's there. So I think John Hart and Gemma gave you a really good introduction to perhaps the business side of what you may or may not need to know. But it's all, as you say, is all very much networking is very much part of it. And I suppose we should talk a little bit as well about, because feeding on from Changing Futures Week, obviously the Book of Mormon trip we did.
Oh yeah, of course. We also had a field trip to the Book of Mormon. That was around an assignment that students did, a performance assignment where they had to integrate some element of the Book of Mormon tune into their end of year gig, which was just a couple of days ago. It was a massive success at the Picturedrome. It's a great vibe. Yeah, it was a really dynamic, brilliant gig. Prince of Wales Theatre. The Book of Mormon, incredibly successful show. Tim Smart, as I said, our main performance lecturer here, he plays in the show several times a week, many times a week, 7 performances a week or something. And he comes to us during the day and then goes off to the show in the evening. So we took the students down and Tim showed them around the pit, and it was a bit of an eye opener for the students because obviously popular music is very glamorous. All the imagery is very glamorous and very sheen, but the reality of being a professional gigging musician is that the pit was very small and cramped.
It was indeed. It was good fun.
They were a bit shocked because they were hoping for a great big stage. These musicians earn their living doing that.
Absolutely.
And they're incredibly successful, incredibly brilliant musicians. They all go off gigging around the world. And Tim's played on the main stage Glastonbury as well. So, they do. One day you could be on the main stage Glastonbury, you could be in LA or, some massive arena somewhere. The next day you might be in a small pit in the West End. Or I think Carlos was saying it might be playing in the back room of a pub somewhere for £100. So in a week you could earn thousands on one gig and £100 on another gig. So that's the reality.
The life of a musician, yeah. But they got, that was great. I mean, they got to, not only did we see the show, and obviously hear the music, and I did enjoy the show. I'm a big fan of the South Park guys myself personally, but also managed to get them out with the musicians after, which again is another networking opportunity. To be actually able to sort of have a drink with those players, and they're all busy people there to run off after a certain period of time, but I think that's invaluable as well. You can really, some of our guys did get really stuck in and ask some good questions, which was good to see.
Yeah, they were so generous with their time with us, and our students. And they're also lovely as well. It's very great. It's an amazing experience that was. So we're very lucky. And we've got more things to look forward to coming up. So Michael and I are doing a research project called Rebel Misfits. It's a live sort of sound installation that we're going to do live. Michael is studying. I won't say too much about it because it's Michael's study, but Michael's studying spatial sound. What I've done is put together a soundscape of sounds of Northampton. So it follows on from a soundscape installation I did for the RSA in London. The RSA now have, for the first time ever apparently, done something outside of London. This will be, and they're going to do it at the Hive in Worcester on the 22nd of May.
Sounds right. Wednesday, 2 weeks.
So if you're in Worcester and interested, please come along. And yeah, it's gonna feature voices and sounds of Northampton. It's gonna be about the experience of living and working in Northampton. Another thing, I don't know where I got the idea of Rebel Misfits from, but as soon as I said it, Michael Bell said, "Well, have you seen what Alan Moore? Alan Moore's a famous writer, sort of famous Northampton personality, and he's got a proper Northampton accent, and he doesn't live far from here either. Actually, where we're sitting right now, we're in Abington." What did he say, Michael, in one of his?
So yeah, he's quite an interesting character. I mean, I think when you came up with that term, when you said Rebel Misfit, I sort of thought about Northampton because I'm fairly new here. I've only been here a couple of years now, even less, maybe 18 months. Yeah. And just going around the town, there's a lot of notable people who are from Northampton. Alan Moore being one. And put it this way, so much of a rebel that I think it was for V for Vendetta, which obviously was a massive film, but he wrote that book. When I believe when Hollywood wanted to do some sort of interview with him, he kind of said, "Well, I'm not getting on a plane and going to Hollywood. You're going to have to come to my studio in Northampton to do the interview," which they did. So you can't get much more of a rebel than that. So yeah, I think Northampton's just been full of varying sort of interesting people throughout the time. I think it's got a very rich history, being the place, I suppose, where disputes were solved in different eras. We've had conversations around. So yeah, I think Rebel Misfit, and then it's about Northamptonshire, and with Alan Moore sort of saying is was his love letter to Northampton, so to speak, or his love letter from Northampton. Seemed to make sense, Stace, that you called it that.
And did he say something about misfits? And
he did, yes. I think he said something about Northampton's a place of sort of misfits, rebels, and yeah, yeah. That's where he said that. He used the word rebels and misfits. So yeah, I don't know whether you channeled his message somehow there. Yeah.
I must have picked up on it.
Yeah, very interesting guy. He's always stayed a Northamptonian when he didn't need to. He could have gone anywhere in the world, but he stayed here.
Yeah, and I think he's because where he was brought up as a child, I think that all the housing, the sort of the back-to-back housing, I think that he was brought up in was all pulled down. I think it's the Ring Road now. So I think he would have stayed living there if he could.
I reckon so.
Yeah, but he still lives in a terraced house, in Northampton. So yeah. So anyway, that wasn't deliberate, but perhaps subconsciously I'd picked up on something from Alan Moore. So we have that to look forward to. Also, we started preparations for Northampton Music Festival 2024 student stage, and we'll be auditioning in a few weeks' time.
At the university, right?
At the university, yeah, and the college students from the local Northampton College have come in as well. They're going to, have an experience of university life, see our amazing facilities that we've got, and do their auditions with us too. And then so we start preparation for that. It's also a bit of a sad time. This time every year anyway, because we say goodbye to our third years. Although many of our third years are staying in Northampton, and they're going to stay in touch with us. And they were really kind actually. They on Thursday, which was our end of degree gig, they got us a card each with a picture of each of us, a funny picture of all of us on it. I'm not sure these some app from the mobile phone. I don't know how they did it, but and then a nice message from everyone. So that's really touching, really lovely of our students to do that. And yeah, this is for our students then. This podcast really. So thanks to all of our third years for being with us for 3 years. We are going to definitely miss you, but you're always welcome to come back and see us. And we're working on an alumni program as well, so we're hoping that'll be sort of an official thing for you. We look forward to your future success. We're sure you're going to be successful at whatever you do. I'm sure some of you are going to go and play on, as well as like Northampton Music Festival, other festivals around the country and around the world. So all the best, and we'll see you in the next one. If you've enjoyed today's podcast, please like and subscribe, and don't be shy to leave a comment too. Thank you so much for listening.